Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will tell you about the story analysis. The title is The Ugly Duckling by Hans C. Andersen. The first one is plot. Plot have 5 parts, and the first is exposition. In exposition of the story, we know that in the beginning, the author explained that in a country there comes a perfect life, lovely weather, plants which is ready to harvest, and a mother duck who waiting for their children to hatch from the eggs. Almost all her children are perfect and beautiful except the last one, who is the biggest and ugly and called the ugly duck. And second is rising action. The mother ducks try to grasp the ugly ducks and take them to the farmyard in the next day, but the ugly duck unluckily gets so much abusive food. And then climax. In this part, the ugly duckling, bullied both physically and mentally day by day, and it is getting worse. So the ugly duck decided to run away from the farmyard. And then next, falling action. After a long journey on his escape, and many incidents happened, he decided to come back, and on the way he find 2 beautiful swans to kill him with joining the beautiful swan swam. So because of his pressure, because of his difference, he felt so down, and then decided to be killed, and he find 2 beautiful swan who swim in the river. And then in resolution part, luckily, when he prepared himself to be killed, he closed his eyes and pulled his head to the water, and he find himself in the water more beautiful and make the people around him adored. So he felt surprised and tears happiness. And then the conflict is the ugly duck versus his society. Why? Because the society assume that difference is a bad thing to have, so all of the animals around him give the ugly duckling abusive words and also ill treatment, and it was so sad. Like in a paragraph described that the duck pecked him, the chicken spit him, and the girl who fed the poultry kicked him with her feet. So at last he ran away, frightening the little birds in the hedge as he flew over the palings. Even his mother duck said that she wished he had never been born because of his ugliness. And then we entered point of view. So we know that in this story, the author used third person omniscient because the third person know everything about the detail in this story. Like in the paragraph, when they reached the farmyard, there was a great disturbance. 2 families were fighting for an eel's head, which after all was carried off by the cat. As the general reader, we will not know about this detail, but the third person do. So the third person is omniscient. And then we entered the character and traits. The ugly duckling has the flat characteristic because from the beginning until the end, he have never been changed into like let's say a cruel dog, a cruel bird, I mean, or abusive bird, and etc. He is the the bird. He is the same bird as in the beginning, and he born among the dogs, so he is different. But he is also obedient bird. But like unluckily, he is bullied by farmyards animals or poultry, both physically and mentally, and so he feel different. And then we have the mother duck, who is flat character because she has like the same character as described as the author described in the story, which she actually a wise mother for the children, but in one in one moment she wished that ugly duck had never been born. But it is like normal that because every parents wants their children born perfectly. And then we have the old duck that has flat characteristic, and the old duck just appear many times. It is wise and neutral. And then mother's duck children, which was the children of the mother duck and the farmyard's animal or poultry. They were unkind, cruel, intimidate the ugly duck. And then we have tomcat, cheeky short legs, and a mistress, which lived in a cottage. They were arrogant and felt they are the smartest one. And then setting of place, we have in the country where the story took place or the background, and in the water or river, the place where the ducks like to swim together, and then the cottage, the shelter of ugly duck when he ran away from the farmyard, and then in the farmyard, of course, where all of the bullying happened. And then setting of time, summertime, the weather in the beginning of the story, and then in the morning when the mother duck took the children to the farmyard, and then autumn when the ugly duck decided to come back to his world, or let's say the farmyard, the old place. And then symbols, we have duck. Duck is a symbol of birds which always follow and obey their mother. If their mother went to the river, they will follow their mother. And then we have swan. Swan is a symbol of beauty and love. And then farmyard is social life or society, which surround the ugly duck. And then water, the place where the ugly duckling find happiness and silence. because in a sentence mentioned that the ugly duck want to go swimming and like that. And then the theme of this story is being different is not a bad thing, and beauty is not about appearance but attitude. We know that the ugly dog is appear as let's say not too perfect bird, but his soul is perfect because he never he never behave abusive to their relative or the other animals. And then examples of literary elements, I found personification in the sentence, the stork walking about on his long red legs chattered in the Egyptian language, which he had learned from his mother. And then autumn came, and I found simile, which puffed himself out like a vessel in a full sail. And then formulate opinion. So I agree with the author's message in this story because so many points can be adapted to our life. The Ugly Duck teach us how to facing imperfection, to behave well although we have been bullied both verbal and non-verbal, and we have to believe of our own that appearance doesn't describe our soul and attitude. The important thing that I found is being different is unique and beautiful. And the last one is connection. This fairy tale is not based on true story, but it still can relate with our real life. For example, when an African born among American, so he or she will have different skin types and being the unique one, but the American maybe will see that difference as a bad thing. So I think it is enough. Thank you for listening and sorry for all my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.